what is passion? It is when you put an awful lot energy into something than is required to do it. Or you could say passion is ambition that is materialized into action. And in doing that, one puts as much heart, mind, body and soul into something as is possible. In today's episode of Not Your 9 to 5, we feature Karen Ubani, an engineer turned fashion designer. Indeed, her passion for fashion designing is more powerful, so to speak, than being an engineer, and she took the risk to explore this whole new beginning and new journey into the world of fashion designing.
My name is Karen Ubani-Alli, and I'm an electrical engineer turned fashion designer. I started my career in MRS Oil as an electrical engineer, after which, because I knew I wanted to go into fashion business, I decided to go into management consulting for about a year and a half in PricewaterhouseCoopers, Nigeria. After which I got a business grant. I was able to start my business full-time. In Karen Ubani Apparel, what we do is garment production and fashion e-commerce. However, we opened our first retail store this year on Adeniran Gusanya in Surulere, Lagos. My former job as an engineer, first of all, was basically more of maintenance and electrical wiring. So basically, electrical maintenance of all the electrical equipment at the terminal. It was an oil and gas company, so I used to work from their terminal, the headquarters in Apapa. So it was basically maintenance of all of the electrical equipment, signing off on vendor forms, and supervising contractors, electrical contractors on the site, as well as wiring and all of those things. After then, I now moved into management consulting, which was very, very exciting for me. I like the fact that I had the opportunity to learn how big businesses run. I had the opportunity to assist in writing business plans for big companies, and I saw how these companies were able to translate those business ideas into reality, and I could see how businesses can move from the planning stage to actually the execution stage, and that was beautiful for me. Of the two jobs, I would say I enjoyed management consulting more because I feel like it prepared me for the life I now live, which is running a business. I left my full-time employment, which was very secure, and at the time, actually, I was about to be promoted, but I left my full-time job because I believe in working in an environment where you're passionate about the work that you do. At the time, I joined management consulting because I felt like it was going to give me that steep learning curve I needed to run my own business. And I felt like after about a year and a half, I felt like I had learned enough and it was time for me to move on in my career. Now, even though I did it afraid, I actually did it afraid. I mean, leaving the security of a full-time job where I know I was sure of my leave allowance. I mean, it's not like I knew I was not going to start earning as much as I used to earn then immediately. But I was willing to take the risk because of the love I had for what I wanted to do. For me, it was more like, even though I used to just take my weekends to make clothes for people at the time, and I just had 2 customers, all of a sudden, I started getting a lot of calls from people saying that they wanted to order a dress or a skirt. And of course, because of the responsibilities of my full-time job, I couldn't meet up with their demand. So I just felt like it was time for me to leave. More importantly, I felt like because of the labor demands of the fashion business, I felt like it was also an opportunity for me to make impact in the area of job creation for a lot of people. And I mean, the business has grown from hiring just 2 or 3 people then when we started. We're about 20 now. And for me, that's the beautiful thing, the fact that I have seen the business grow from when I started up until now. I remember when I was about to quit and I went to our HR at the time because she knew the batch I came in with and it was close to the promotion reviews time. I remember the HR asking me, you're joking, right? She asked me, what company are you going to? And I told her, I'm not going to any company. I'm going to start my own business. And she looked at me like, you have to be joking. Like, who leaves PwC to run her own business and all of that? So yeah, a lot of people were shocked. My colleagues were like, man, you are so brave. You know, I really wish I could do what you're doing. I remember one of my senior colleagues told me, Karen, you are so lucky. You are good at the job, and you are also good creatively, because she had seen some things I had done. And I was like, how do you mean? She was like, she feels like I would have made a good consultant, but she also feels like I will make a good fashion business owner because of the little she knew about me. So for me, people's feelings were mixed, but most importantly, what I noticed was that a lot of people also wanted to do what I was doing. Like, a lot of people wanted to step out and run their own businesses, but fear wouldn't let them. But I did it despite the fear. At the time, I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my parents I was quitting, because I knew that they would not be able to bear it. But what happened was, my brother mistakenly told my mom, who was very shocked while she was driving. I think she stopped the car abruptly when my brother mentioned that I was quitting my job, because, I mean, everybody knew my company and everything. I didn't tell my dad. So somehow my dad now heard the gist, and then he came to my room like 6 a.m. in the morning. He calls me, Ifama, you're quitting. Why? Something. Blah, 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 blah. How are you going to, what if, you know? Yeah, so I wasn't surprised at his reaction, to be honest. That is why I actually didn't go to them to say, oh, I'm quitting. What do you think? No, I just made my decision, and I poured my heart into it. And I made sure that from the day I quit, every morning I leave the house and I don't come back till night, so that they will know that this was a big deal, like this was a serious job. I didn't work from home. I wanted to have my own office space quite a distance from the house. I wanted to be sure that, okay, this is my work. And I used to work late hours just to remind myself that, see, I'm working. Because coming from consulting, we used to work really late. Sometimes I get home by 11 p.m., 12 midnight. So I wanted to make sure that I hit the ball running. There are steps you must take if you want to switch from your full-time job to running your own business. First of all, I always advise people that make sure that your search or your hunt or your hunger or thirst to start something new doesn't affect your current job. Make sure that you're being productive at what you're doing now. Make sure that your productivity at your current place of work does not drop just because you're trying to get another job or you're trying to start your own business. And then, most importantly, I don't play with my relationships with people. Now, your relationship with people is priceless, because your former colleagues might make up your first set of customers, and they're the ones that we know drive your business and all of that. I mean, for a business like mine, I sell workwear clothes for women, so you can imagine how useful my old colleagues were in helping me push my brand. When you're starting your business, you need as much support as possible. It's very, very important that you get the support from your bosses. It's very important that you get the support from your colleagues as much as possible, as much as it depends on you. Try to make sure that the relationship you have with people from your former place of employment is as smooth as possible, because it will help you have a soft landing in your new business. For me, I followed all of these techniques. I made sure that my relationships with most of my colleagues was still sound. I made sure that they helped me to push my business in their different platforms as much as they could. And I made sure that I went to some of my bosses once in a while to get advice on all.
One thing that I like about Karen Ubani Apparel is the fact that we bring out the best in us. We try our best. We try to satisfy our customers. We work with diligence, and we do what we do. We hit our targets.
In comparison to my former job, I would say I enjoyed this one more, mostly because I feel like all of the challenges, I feel like I'm born for this. Like, to be honest, I sometimes feel like on Sunday evenings, I tell my friends or my husband, I'll be like, oh, thank God tomorrow is Monday. And some of them will look at me like, are you okay? To be honest, that's how excited I am about my job. Sometimes, especially when I was starting, it was a bit tough. But to be honest, my job excites me. My job excites me. The challenges excite me. The challenges, I feel like they are real challenges. It's kind of like, to me, the kind of problems I face in running my business are kind of like an exertion on my intellectual capacity. I feel like, okay, my brain is trying to test me to see, life is trying to test me to see how best I can perform in this problem. And I always find that when I take out time and look deep down inside, I always have the answers to solve those problems. Or sometimes all I have to do is consult people and say, oh, what do you think? You know, it's exciting when you solve problems. Problems that are within your interested field, right? So I'm really having the time of my life running this business. Some days are tougher than others. Some days are better than others. But to be honest, I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world.
My name is Ebere Onobia. I'm the production manager of Karen Ubani-Alli. This is a factory. What I basically do here is to make sure that production goes well. I try to track orders. When the customer service actually sends me orders, so I track them based on the priority. There are some that actually are very urgent, and I just do the orders that with the prescriptions on them. We do UK sizes from size 6 to 30. We actually cater for the every woman in the society that actually wants to slay in their office wears. My experience here has been amazing. Karen Ubani is an amazing boss. She does her work very well, and I like her tenacity to her job. She makes it easy to work with her, and it's been a fantastic experience here running this factory.
I work in KUA as an inspection personnel. What we do in KUA is ready to wear. Basically, we sew in Nigeria is a ready to wear made in Nigeria. But in KUA, we were able to solve, as in we know some big size they might want to slay and all that, which if they want to shop for turkey wear and all that, they will find it difficult. It's either the upper part is a kind of big or the down part is small, blah, 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 like that. But in KU, we were able to solve their problem and made them slay properly the way and how they want it. Aside from 6 to this, but I like what Karen is doing. She really, really imparted in so many people that she come in contact with. I think I love her, what she's doing, and now she was able to empower some people. So for that, I love her. As my work as inspection personnel, I think I love it. Because when you're working, you need to enjoy what you're doing. I love it so much that it has been part of me morning, afternoon. I just want to see people as in wearing what they feel like wearing, and they feel comfortable in what they do. What is, if we sew and there's nobody to inspect, there will be a lot of complaints. So we need to take the measurements accurately because we have our standard sizes which we follow.
I'm the pattern cutter presently at KUA, and what I do is I interpret designs on paper. I get a design, I look at them, analyze them, put them on paper, construct them however constructible, and I make these patterns and give it to the cutter to cut on fabric before they are being taken to the tailors to sew, and then we see how it comes out after the production. So that's basically what I do. I make the patterns, and whatever is on every sample, we produce a sample before every collection comes out. So whatever is on the sample, I make it proper on paper. If any correction is made on the sample, I make it on the paper. If I don't do these corrections on the paper, that means whatever they sew is going to be different from the sample. So that's how crucial it is. Every mistake or every error on the pattern drafting sheet is going to reflect on every sample produced.
Would I want to go back to a 9-to-5, having started my business? So to be honest, I would like to clarify. I know that some people have a lot of myths around the whole 9-to-5 thing. Working 9 to 5 doesn't necessarily mean that you're working for a private company or all of that. And to be honest, I see myself doing some policy-related job for the fashion industry in Nigeria later on, most probably for the government or so, but I don't know. But right now, to be honest, having your own business, yes, your time is a bit more flexible, but you still have your own crunch time. Whether you're running your own business or you're working for someone else, if you cannot sacrifice in another person's business, when you start your own, you will feel, I know that a lot of people say it and people just think it's cliche, but to be honest, if you cannot sacrifice in somebody else's business, when you start your own, you will still have problems because everybody has crunch time. The demand for excellence has a cost. And the demand for excellence is beyond just the hours of 9 to 5, as we all know.